Hello students, welcome to EduRev.
Have you ever wondered where the energy in your food comes from? And how your body uses it to grow, play, and think?
In this short lesson, we'll travel through the body like explorers, meeting the mouth, stomach, small and large intestines, lungs, and even special animal adaptations. And we will see how food becomes fuel. Let's start at the very beginning. Animals eat different foods depending on where they live and how they behave. From bees sipping nectar to snakes swallowing whole prey. In humans and many animals, food must be broken down into simpler forms so the body can use carbohydrates, proteins, and fats for energy and growth. Digestion happens inside a long tube called the alimentary canal that runs from the mouth to the anus. And along the way, special juices help break food down into tiny, useful parts. Digestion really begins in the mouth, where teeth do mechanical digestion by chewing and breaking food into smaller pieces to make it easier to swallow. Saliva mixes with food and contains enzymes that start changing starch into sugar, which is why starchy foods can taste slightly sweet if you chew them long enough. You can try a simple experiment. Compare boiled rice that is chewed with rice that is not, add iodine and watch the color change to see how saliva breaks down starch. After the mouth, the tongue pushes the moist food into the food pipe or esophagus, a flexible tube that uses gentle, wave-like contractions called peristalsis to move food toward the stomach. In the stomach, strong muscles churn the food and digestive juices mix in. These juices include acid that helps digest proteins and mucus that protects the stomach lining. Proteins begin to be broken into smaller parts in the stomach, and the food becomes a semi-liquid mass ready for the small intestine. The small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal, about 6 meters in humans, and it is the main site where digestion finishes and nutrients are absorbed. Here, the liver and pancreas send bile and pancreatic juice. Bile helps break fats into tiny droplets, while pancreatic juice helps digest carbohydrates, proteins, and fats further. The inner lining of the small intestine is covered with thousands of tiny finger-like projections called villi that increase surface area and help nutrients pass into the blood. Once nutrients enter the blood, they are carried to every part of the body to provide energy, build tissues, and repair damage, all thanks to the circulatory system. What remains after absorption moves into the large intestine, which is shorter but wider and absorbs water and some salts, turning waste into a semi-solid stool. Stool is stored in the rectum and removed through the anus in a process called egestion. And eating fiber-rich foods like fruits and whole grains keeps this part of the system healthy. Different animals show fascinating variations. Ruminants like cows swallow grass, regurgitate it, and chew it again in a process called rumination to extract more nutrients. Birds do not have teeth but use a gizzard, a muscular chamber that grinds food, often with swallowed grit. And aquatic animals may filter tiny food particles from water. Some animals, such as human infants, get their first nutrition from mother's milk, while snakes like pythons swallow their prey whole and digest it slowly. Now let's breathe deeply into the other life process, respiration, which is how cells use oxygen to release energy from the food we eat. Breathing is the physical movement of air in and out of the lungs, while respiration is the chemical process inside cells where oxygen helps break down glucose to release energy, carbon dioxide, and water. Air enters through the nostrils, passes through nasal passages and the windpipe or trachea, and reaches the lungs, where tiny sacs called alveoli perform gas exchange. Inhale, and the diaphragm moves down and the chest expands, letting air fill the lungs. Exhale, and the diaphragm relaxes and chest volume shrinks to push air out. At the alveoli, oxygen moves into the blood and carbon dioxide moves out to be exhaled. And this exchange keeps every cell supplied with oxygen for respiration. A simple lime water experiment shows that exhaled air contains more carbon dioxide than inhaled air because the lime water turns milky when you blow into it. You can also build a model of breathing with a bottle, balloons, and a rubber sheet to see how the diaphragm and lungs work together in a safe, hands-on way. The circulatory system, heart, blood, and blood vessels, then carries oxygen and nutrients from the lungs and gut to every tissue and brings back waste products to be removed. Healthy habits matter. Brushing your teeth, eating fiber, staying hydrated, and avoiding smoking protect your digestive and respiratory systems and help your whole body work well. Remember that certain conditions like celiac disease damage the small intestine and require dietary changes, showing how food and health are closely linked to society and culture. A quick modern fact. Researchers once observed digestion directly through an accidental opening in a patient's stomach. And those experiments helped us learn more about how digestion works. So what is the key insight to carry with you today? Food gives us building blocks and energy. Digestion turns food into absorbable nutrients. And respiration releases the energy those nutrients contain so our bodies can move and grow. In short, digestion and respiration are partners. One breaks food down and absorbs it, the other uses oxygen to unlock its energy inside cells. Let's recap the major steps together. Chew and mix with saliva in the mouth. Travel down the esophagus by peristalsis. Be churned in the stomach. Be digested and absorbed in the small intestine with help from bile and pancreatic juices. And finally, remove waste through the large intestine. Also remember, breathing brings oxygen to the lungs. Alveoli swap gases with the blood, and the circulatory system takes oxygen and nutrients to every cell for respiration. Outside humans, animals have special adaptations like rumination, gizzards, gills, or breathing through skin that suit their habitats and diets. Before we close, here are a couple of simple takeaways you can use every day. Eat balanced, include fiber, practice oral hygiene, and breathe clean air whenever you can. If you enjoy hands-on learning, try the saliva and lime water experiments with an adult. And notice how these simple activities help you see science at work in your own body. Thank you for listening so kindly and for exploring life processes with curiosity and care. You did a wonderful job following the journey through digestion and respiration. If you want to learn more, practice the questions and experiments linked to this lesson and return for more videos that make science friendly and fun. Keep